Hey guys, real quick before we start the video, I want to direct you to the community tab on my channel. I am currently running an event for you, the viewers, to rate every single Monster Hunter monster from 1 to 5 stars. This project is going to be a bit of a run back from the 20th anniversary popularity poll and is meant to allow everyone to voice their opinion on every monster, so we can get a big picture look at how the whole community feels about the entire Monster Hunter bestiary. There will be a new poll on the community tab every single day at noon Eastern Standard Time, and all polls will remain live on the channel, so you can answer any of them at any time. You will not miss out if you miss the poll for the day. I will be updating numbers all the way from now until the end of October when the last polls have been run, and in October or November, we're going to have a massive video event where your comments will be read, all the numbers will be crunched, and the monsters will be reordered based on how you all voted. Every vote on every poll matters, and anyone has a chance to have their comment read in the video itself. And if you want to help me get more data and reach the broader Monster Hunter community, I'd appreciate a like on this video and, maybe hit the subscribe button to help this channel grow. It'll put me and this project in front of more eyes. Okay, no more YouTuber CTA shilling. Here's the video you actually clicked on. Thank you. Alrighty, folks. This is the big one for me. If I had a main, I think it might be Lance. I don't know. I like a lot of weapons. I play a lot of weapons, but this one's special. Did a whole video on why this one's special. It's a good video. It's a weapon I really like. It's a weapon that you get up in the monster's face, you're having the most fun when it's the monster's turn. You're turning their attacks against them, you're up in it, you're just shaking off everything. The biggest thing that I think really holds this weapon back is that for its damage has not been great recently because Capcom's like, oh, we're gonna do Anchor Rage or whatever the hell it's called, and like for a limited time only, you can pretend that your weapon does normal weapon damage. So like the damage has been low, and then the poke combos, though classic, are not super duper fun when it's like actually your turn. When they're baked into the like offensive defensive aspect of plan, then they're kind of cool. But when like the monster's down and it's just stab 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 reset, stab 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 reset, it's not the most fun weapon in the game. So I'm wondering if they're going to alter around the offense a little bit. I think the aggressive defense is definitely going to be tooled around. I'm looking to see, I'm very much expecting Adept Guard's going to be a thing because it looks like, like Sword and Shield and Gunlance has it. So I'd like to see that back. If it's on those two, it's got to be on this one in some way, shape, or form. And then because we saw the Slinger hook being implemented into the Hammers kit, I'm wondering if they might want to like recreate the Clutch Claw counter a little bit with the Hook Slinger with this one, because I know that was like the really big popular like pop-off move that this weapon got in Iceborne. To this day, people still really talk about liking that move, even though it was kind of dangerous. Yeah, this is what I'm excited for. I'm wondering how they're gonna shake things up and move things around and try to get more people to try this thing out. So let's see for ourselves. Oh, that's a great looking set. Okay, so this is totally the Balahara stuff. 100%. Like the ridges are pretty much exactly the same. The drill shape of the tail for like the actual lance, that's really good recreation. The scale work texture looks great. The ridges look great. Oh, that's a beautiful, beautiful looking set. For a monster that's like pretty early game looking too, that's like tough. Both sets look really good. And then the dude is just all tanked up. It's sick looking. That's really, oh dude, they're killing it with the weapons and armor in this game. Like I'm presuming that they're showing a bunch of stuff from like lower level to like mid-level monsters. I think I said this in an earlier video. And the stuff looks this tough and this cool and this good. So like original elders and whatnot, like this stuff might look really, really good. Big block, yeah, top class defense. Oh, is that? I saw a little semicircle guard right there. Ooh, look at that. Strafing off of every single poke. Oh, that's sick. Right a guard. Yeah, just no-sell everything. He's so many counterattacks. Ooh, follow up in like a really rapid charge. Focus, okay. Uppercut, that's tough. Cool. And that's the, like, the power guard thing. Cool. No clutch claw. It looks like there's a depth guard, but I didn't see, like, the cross sweep or anything. Interesting. So they're just, like, it's not a weapon reinvention, but it is kind of like a major reaffirmation of the weapon's identity. So, like, yeah, you still got the pokes, but now you can extend out the poke combo with that, like, rapid shot one, and you have, like, strafing with every singular poke has evasion tied to it potentially, and it's just like defensive counter after defensive counter after defensive counter, follow up. Like, they're just like, there's just so many ways to, like, just tank shots and then follow it up, and then a tank shot, follow it up, tank shot, follow it up, over and over and over again. And that's what I was really liking about World's incarnation of the weapon and then into Rise and Sunbreak's incarnation, is that there was just so many different ways that you could just eat an attack and follow up, and then eat it a different way and follow up. You know, you shield bash into one, you power guard another, you perfect guard another, over and over and over. I thought was so cool, and it looks like this really just isn't that different. There's a couple of things I didn't see, so they didn't really do like the big like shield checks. They didn't do that, though. I'd be shocked if that's gone. That's been around forever. Again, I think I saw the windup for an adept guard, but I didn't see like the big cross sweep. But yeah, no, there was like shield denials and big lance stabs and like follows up into rapid miniature charges. A couple of like pretty rapid attacks too. So this is definitely not going to top something like an LBG or dual blades or a bow for Element, but it looks like Element might be a little bit more viable on this, especially with like the sliding hops, just the sheer amount of uptime that you seem to be able to have with this, the new multi-hit finisher, that like rapid charge you got. There's a couple of instances where you can hit really fast with this thing. So, yeah, probably not going to be the best elemental weapon, but it might be a feasible option, or like Status Lance might be a fairly feasible option. So let's run things back. We'll start from the very beginning. It's a collapsible lance too, which is cool. That shield design's amazing as well, for sure. So that's power guard. It's like your big stab. That's the only thing they show there. Alright, so that's just a nice big hefty block. And I was looking right here. Oh yeah, totally. 100%. Again, didn't see the cross sweep, but I saw there's like a little blue light and semicircular motion. Yeah, I'm playing in a review. Oh, yeah, no, that's like blatant right now. Yep, alright, so that's adept guarding. Look at him go. Does a little semicircle. I mean, he does it way too early, for sure. They are confirming that it's in here. Yeah, and then Dosha comes down, finally giving Chatacabra a break and letting something else get beat up. The memes about that are fantastic, by the way. Of Chatacabra just showing up to work every day, just getting beat up in the trailers. Yeah, alright, so whiffs the adept block, just goes for a normal. You know, I noticed, completely weapon unrelated, but just like the sound effects and the visual effects of like the rocks getting kicked up from Dosha's attack look great. That's awesome. Okay, yeah, so every single one of your normal pokes you can just strafe evade. Hop, poke, hop, poke, hop. Yeah, that's great. So you're just keeping up like constant momentum. You either are able to like slip out of an attack. You know, you slap a evade window on this one, so you have like little tiny baby strafing hops with advanced iframes. Probably still not going to be like full evade on these little hops, but like if you're really good with your timings, then like your uptime is going to be insane. You're just not going to get hit because you're never going to get caught in a combo because you can just strike, evade, strike, evade, strike, evade, strike, evade, strike, evade, and it's like, it's quick. It's wicked quick. So someone who's mastering this weapon, you're just not going to get hit. Unless you want to get hit. And when you want to get hit, that means it's completely at your advantage because you have a billion follow-ups. Oh, this weapon is so fucking underrated, dude. Three, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, so follows up with a 6-shot. I mean, that's just cooler for offense in general. So either you're in the clack with the monster like this, like you're fighting it, and they do like a nice big heavy attack that whiffs, so you know you have an opening. So now you have an advanced poke finisher on your combo that you can throw out, just like really let loose a couple of extra hits while you have that nice opening. This one doesn't take too long either, so probably going to be wicked easy to pull off and consistently get this, as opposed to some other combos that some other weapons have. And then yeah, for just like attacking a downed monster in general, this looks to be something that's a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more interesting than just triple poke reset, triple poke reset. And it seems to be just like, I know, like 5th generation added omnidirectional evading for the lance, which was something it always needed. You know, the fact that it could never front hop in the previous games is something that I will never enjoy about classical lance. No matter how much I do enjoy playing it, it's something that just doesn't make sense. But yeah, no, this is backward, forward, side, side with evade hops out of pokes. So that's back, that's side. Yeah, that's great. That's really good. This just change up to the bread and butter combo is excellent, excellent work. It's subtle, it's small. Well, it's not, yeah, it is subtler. It's a good combo finisher. It's more evasion. Yeah, evade window on this I think is going to be great for just kiting around monsters and just completely ignoring things and immediately following up It looks great. Was that... because I saw like the blue flash on the shield again. So is that what Adept Guard is going to do? Yeah, there's the blue. So let me wind. What is... okay. So this looks to be Adept Guard because it has the blue flash and like the shield movement. So that clashes off, boom, and then just bam. I'll play it back at full speed in a little bit, but also just like the sheer speed that this attack can come out with, because even just going like frame by frame, it's not a lot of frames. Yeah. So clashes there, and... pow. Yeah, just like a nice little rebuke off of that too. It's nice. It's like nice and dismissive. It's almost like disrespectful. Ooh, look at the inside pattern on the shield too. That almost kind of looks like kind of like a redwood or something on there. The gear looks amazing in this game, man. It looks so good. So the thing that's interesting about this is that this is a weird stance. So he has the lance is like resting on his hip right in front of him. The shield is up over the shoulder. We'll check the focus mode in a little bit, but this is a very odd looking stance. This is not normal, because normal looks like this, with like the shield right at the side right here, the lance up in front, also resting on the hip, but more just like jutting straight out. This is weird looking. The way it's moving, too. You see that? Let me answer my question preemptively. What's his focus mode with this weapon look like? Is that even the same? So this is like a little hunched with the shield really kind of pressed up on the shoulder. The lance still pointed forward, but kind of like lowered a little bit, and the posture is a little more crouched. We'll go back to... maybe this seems higher up on the back. Maybe. Yeah, that's like, he's like hiking his shoulder back. Let me peep the focus mode one more time. It could be. It could be. This angle's a little different because the camera's pointing a little different. This one's pointing like right at his left shoulder, but the shield is also kind of like hiked up. It's on the right shoulder a little bit. The lance is lowered a little. This one, yeah, it's pointing at a different part of his body. This one hikes up. It could be. It could be. If you have a keener eye than me, let me know. But this could potentially mean, if this is focus mode and they're just not showing the reticle for whatever reason, that focus mode has its own type of adept guard, or whatever stance this is has its own type of adept guard. Perhaps that means that there's more than one way that adept guard can be pulled off, and perhaps cross sweep is available on, say, like adept guard, but in the more normal stance. So let's see what it looks like right here. Yeah, this is not in focus mode or in anything else. This is just regular. Shield's a little bit more off the body. The lance is at a higher angle. Whiffs the adept guard. With this bad boy back here. Lance is slightly lower. It's a little bit more along the chest, and the shield is hiked up, like really high on the shoulder. Is that even adept right there? Because that also... It still has this same kind of like blue... Yeah, and it's moving. It might be a more deliberate counter. Let me know down below, because it has movement to it. Let me actually, like, play it. A little hard to tell, but I think it's in, like, the starting wind-up of the circle. Yeah, if you don't think that this is an adept guard right off of here, let me know. I'm trying to decipher it. I kind of think it is. The way it's brought down like that. Yeah, there's movement to it. Yeah, okay, so either this is just a slightly different type of animation with a similar... It's the thing that catches me is that it has the similar blue effect, is that they both have that kind of like little radiant bit of blue when the guard pops off, so I kind of feel like it might be the same thing, honestly, or similar to it, and that different stances have different forms of adept guard or different follow-ups to it, because like the one at the very start is just normal stance, so yeah, no, they might just not show cross sweep, because this definitely looks different. Yeah, and look at how quick that is in full motion. That's so disrespectful. Is get out of here, bang, bump them off right on the head and follow up. All right, so this is pretty typical, just like power guard stance. Yep, so it's your super guard, you eat the paw slam. They changed up this animation a little bit. So Lance always had, or 5th gen Lance always had it, you know, you hit the power guard and you can do like one singular big super strike off of it, really selling the power of it because it's such a powerful strike that you're launching yourself off the ground from the retaliation. Yeah, like functionally it's the same, but they just, the alteration in the animation just really sells how much look at that. If this wasn't so pixely, this would be such a really great screen grab. Yep, okay, so there's another. Alright, so I wonder if this replaces the lunging multi. So out of power guard with 5th generation Lance, you know, you lock up in that stance and then you press triangle for PlayStation, Y for Xbox. You go into like this flinging multi-hit, like it procs for 3 different hits. It's a cool little move right there. This one instead, so we still have like our power guard follow-up. Yeah, so it hits the big power guard. That's still the same sound effect. Instead of that, you hit with one strike, immediately into what looks to be a fully charged Lance run, because you saw like a red flash on there when he did it. Yeah, so your character pulses red. So, the Lance Charge would have charge levels to it. I know in Worlds, so you can like power up how strong those impacts were going to be. So this looks like it almost automatically goes into full power charge. Just moves wicked fast too. So they're they're turning the Lance Charge into a follow-up. That's really cool, because it was the Lance Charge is like a really neat novelty. If you're just throwing it out in the middle of combos, in the middle of combat, it can be nice to get distance. It gets me hit a lot. I know it's like a big part of like the Generations version, because it's really good for charging up your Hunter arts, but you're mainly wanting it just for like the ending strike, so you're just kind of like pulling off really close to the monster. Baking it a little bit more into the kit by turning it into a follow-up of a counter is a really cool way to try and like use this attack a little bit more. And again, this is one of the faster hitting things that the Lance does, so status or elemental application might be viable here. Yeah, so it's a big hit, then Lance charges. Then, yep, so the turnaround big sweep finisher off of that retains. Cool. Yeah, so that's focus mode. Looks a little different from that other stance. Could be camera angle, could be otherwise, but yeah, no. So hikes up the shield onto the shoulder a little bit more. Just changes the angle of the lance. The posture is a little bit more hunkered down. Yeah, this looks to be the wound closer, which is an uppercut into the face, followed by a rushing shield multi-hit, then a big stab, and the massive stab closes the wound. Again, another multi-hit on this weapon. What a cool move that is, too. Boom, 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 boom. Big paw. That's interesting. What are you? This isn't... No, because your normal power guard, like, puts the shield up in front of you. It like Iron Fortresses you. This is like a much more wide open, like, antagonizing, like, taunting kind of stance. Someone correct me, but I don't recognize this. So what do you do that's different? Because this is another stance where you have like a nice big retaliation super hit. So do we just have another like super block stance? Let me know if this is from something. I don't recognize this stance. And then it seems to have a level of charge to it. And the flash was like an orange brown. You see that right there? Yeah, look at the particle effects on the Lancer right there. It's like an orange-brown. So orange-brown in Monster Hunter is typically defense. So is this potential... Like, he locks up. Paw comes down. After a second or two, that flashes. And before the... paw hits, he's already moving. And if you look, you have the kind of like blue particle effects around the shield again, the way we saw it for the Perfect Guard or Adept Guard stuff at the very beginning of the trailer. The one follow-up in that odd stance we were looking at earlier, and now we see it again right here. So not only do I think like the Perfect Guard, Adept Guard is back, I think Lance is just straight up the absolute master of it, as it seems to have multiple stances that have multiple different types of like blocking to it, and they all seem to have some form of Perfect Guard timing things to them that each have their own different follow-ups. So, you know, we still don't have the famed cross sweep from Generations and from Rise, but this is like 3 instances where we're seeing this little effect where he's proccing the block right before they hit, and in 2 of them, in different stances, they have different follow-up attacks. So I think this is huge. Not only, yeah, like I said, not only is Lance gonna have these Adept Guards, but it has like 3 of them across different stances, it looked like, that have their own different aspects of retaliation to them. So this is just an absolute god of timing and perfect blocking and perfect evading. Oh, the skill ceiling that this weapon is gonna have is so just like tantalizing, dude. And then this stance is odd because it has like those defense effect frames going on. No, dude, this is nuts. Let me know if this is from something or what you think this is, because this is... I don't recognize this. The flash means something. It might mean armor of some kind, because that's like the defensive coloration that they use in Monster Hunter, so just using like the visual language of the games. It tells me that it's kind of like locked in right here for like some kind of defensive boost, maybe some kind of armor. Yeah, it looks like a counter at full speed, but as we just saw in a little bit ago, he starts moving like 4 or 5 frames before Dosha hits. Crazy. All right, and then this is the Lance charge with the hop back. So that's always in World of Iceborne. This was a really good way to get some free mounting hits. Glad to see this back. This was something I like to do a lot. It's like free distance closure and a mounting hit. And then this is the Power Clash. Okay, it's not as flashy as the Great Sword one, but just in like terms of like a pure strength feat for a person. So you got the shield in the mouth, and not only do you break it, but like the hand you were using to hold the monster back, you're just like, oh, dude, if this was like a full realism, every tooth in Dosha's upper jaw is gone with that. Like you just ripped all his teeth out. And big follow-up thrust right to the neck. Neat. All right, let's watch it back in full. Great looking, fantastic armor and weapon. Such a good shield, too. All right, normal block. Back hops. Whiffed adept block. It's a short little window for that, too. The animation is very subtle, and it's very it's quick and it's subtle, much more so than previous incarnations of that, but it is there. So it looks like they might be tightening that window up a teeny bit. Strafing hops with the pokes. Awesome new combo finisher. There's that weird looking different stance with what might be an adept guard into the shield attack. Power guard into a huge counter thrust. Power guard into smaller thrust, into charge, into turn finisher. Focus mode, uppercuts, shield multi-wound closer, possible parry stance, lunging jump, and power clash. Wow, they did a lot of work with this. It's not as big or noticeable as Bow yesterday. Gunlance is like the flashier looking one. But wow, when you really like kind of crack the hood on this thing, they're giving Lance a lot. Like a lot of stuff. Like when Lance has been utility over form, I was wondering if they were maybe gonna give it something very overtly look at me, like play this weapon, kind of like they did with Hunting Horn in the last game. But no, not really. Kind of surface level, it's still very much Lance, and you can kind of be in a point where like, yeah, no, I know what I'm looking at, but as someone who knows Lance, I'd like to think pretty well. There's a lot of stuff in there that looks very new. And it's just so many defensive options and response options. And that's the coolest thing about Lance. That's why I think it's a really fun weapon to play, is because the option for block and response is so vast. There's always going to be something that's the most mathematically viable, something that you probably want to be doing the most, and some things are more situational than others for sure. But just like the sheer amount of responses that you have to a monster's attacks is phenomenal. Something the weapon's always done well, and though this isn't the flashiest version of it doing that, this might be one of the best. Again, we didn't see the full adept guard, which might have the cross sweep back, but they didn't show it. We didn't see any of like the shield check rushes or anything like that. Like there's still stuff that's like pretty major to the Lance kit that they didn't show, and they showed a whole lot of stuff that it never had before. There's almost like too much. I'm like, okay, what's special about this one? We already have so many like blocking stances. I'm like, why do I want to use this one? why do I want to use that one? There's like 3 other like stances, 2 to 3 for this thing that I like barely recognize or look like somewhat new. I'm like, okay, gee, that's like so much stuff. Yeah, dude, I'm happy. I'm really happy with this. It didn't need something where you stab the lance into the ground and then you go spinning around it and you kick the monster in the head and you're like throwing the lance like a javelin and calling it back on like the tether or something. Like, it didn't need that. There's a ton of stuff. They did a great job with this. It might be because this is probably my favorite weapon, but I think this is one of my favorite trailers. I think this is one of my favorite weapon reevaluations that they've done in this game. I'm very happy with this. So let me know down below what you think about the lance coming back in this game. Let me know if I missed anything. Kind of right here is going to be the breakdown of the bow from yesterday if you didn't watch that. But as for right now, this has been CR-Volcanic or Connor. I'll see you around. Shout out to all the patrons, and special shout out to Nihilist Chimerax, Datboy Doin de Ding, Sir Newt Newt, Peaberry, Stefan Colneen, Shaggy Grizzly, Psychotic Jester, Pecco Plush, Daniel Delasarte, and Call Sign Shadow. Thank you very much, everyone.